Hello, I'm David Abrahams and welcome to Central Coast Newspaper's Weekly News 5 at 5, Christmas Eve edition 2021. And Christmas can't come early enough, though the events of 2021 aren't over yet. This week's backdrop is the Chittaway Bay, thanks to Playing in Puddles, the guide for Central Coast kids. So, the Premier Dominic Perrottet is back down and reinstated QR check-ins and mask mandates on Thursday. Also, hospitality venues needs to reinstate the 2 square metre rule from the 27th of December. Yet many stores are scrambling to get their systems back up and running. Meanwhile, Omicron case numbers on the coast are rising sharply according to official numbers. We're told from reliable sources that there are a handful of COVID patients in local hospitals, yet no one is in intensive care as yet. CCN has daily updates on our website, so keep an eye out for the local trends. Earlier this week, we interviewed Central Coast Health's new Chief Executive, Scott McLaughlin, about the situation in the local health system. Here he is.
I think the last thing we want to see at the moment is people impacted this close to Christmas. So it's a perfect window of time for people to just stay home if you don't need to go out. If you do go out, then take all the precautions that we know keep us all safe. One of the things that's becoming very popular is the rapid antigen tests. They're readily available now through the supermarkets, pharmacies and others. Now, they're a good quick test, typically 15 to 20 minutes turnaround, you get a result back. It's reasonably reliable, so you do get a few false positives occasionally, but it also gives you a bit of peace of mind. And so for people going to, whether it's Christmas parties to lunches and everything else with your families, and wanting to keep your family safe, they're also a good option to give you some feedback whether you might be at risk of having COVID or spreading it.
And in the run-up to this week, the Premier had a quick cabinet reshuffle. The most significant being the local government minister, Shelley Hancock, has stood aside and replaced by Wendy Tuckman MP. And locally based Arts Minister Don Harwin has been ditched for a fellow MP called, wait for it, Benjamin Franklin. And the council's administrator, Rick Hart, is still seeking IPART approval to maintain the special rate variation for an extra 7 years. In an extraordinary meeting held this week, he pushed through a massive 700-page draft resolution and handed the Chief Executive the delegation to rework a good number of plans, all because IPART had a time frame he needed to meet for the council's application to maintain the rate increase. We spoke to the administrator after the meeting.
About planning documents, the request came from IPART that we must submit this current range of planning documents to them to accompany our special rate variation that we will put forward in February next year. So there was a massive rush to try and get this out before Christmas to allow basically the month of January for the community to make comments on it. Those comments will be taken into consideration and the final documents will be put together, and then they'll come to a meeting at the beginning of February.
Now check out the full interview on our YouTube channel and website for more information. And for the good news, a Long Jetty business owner is celebrating 15 years of trading. The store, A Dash of Christmas, has brought many smiles to local families over the years. Our reporter, Sky Hull, popped over to buy some tinsel.
I do a thing called Dash Couture, which is these beautiful big pieces, and the Santas. A company in Melbourne, from Swish, bring them in for me in blanks, and I create fairies and Santas that no one else in the world has got. So they're being shipped all over the world at the moment. Actually, 2 are going out this week to Las Vegas. So that's a bit exciting.
And the Mariners had another amazing win this week, downing APIA Leichhardt 0-6 at Leichhardt Oval. With that convincing win, the Mariners now progress to the semi-finals of the National FFA Cup. Meanwhile, the Mariners have home games against Wellington on the 27th and the New Year's Eve game against Macarthur FC, followed, of course, by the traditional fireworks display on the waterfront. Now, all of these stories and, frankly, tens of thousands more can be found on our news website without a paywall and in this week's edition of the last editions of Coast Community News, Coast Community Chronicle and the Pelican Post for 2021. Our print editions take a little break traditionally until mid-January, though our online news service is still publishing. Remember to subscribe to our email newsletter and socials via YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify and Instagram for updates throughout the summer. Now we leave you this week with the vision from a new feature film by local film director Tina Wake called Love and Triangles. Now have a very Merry Christmas from all of us at Central Coast Newspapers, and thanks for watching. See you very soon.
Love is always good at the start, when nothing gets in the way. And then it happened, baby. How could this happen, baby? Love doesn't want to fall apart, but everything gets in the way. I'm falling, hey, love is always good at the start. Can't we just rewind? Can't we just rewind?